Sometimes some great albums have singles that fail to do justice to the overall project. In the last video, we looked at 8 great albums with bad singles, and in this video, we'll look at 8 more. Emotion by Carly Rae Jepsen. Carly Rae Jepsen's Emotion marked a creative reinvention for her, transitioning from the bubblegum pop sound of Call Me Maybe to 80s-inspired synth-pop masterpieces. Critics praised the album for its production and infectious hooks, but the singles chosen to promote it didn't fully capture the magic of the album. The lead single, I Really Like You, while catchy and fun, leaned too heavily into the bubblegum pop sound that she was trying to move away from. Its repetitive chorus was polarizing. Some loved it, and some hated it, and it overshadowed the deeper tracks on the album. Run Away With Me and Your Type followed up as the second and third singles from the album. Even though they were great songs, the album was full of tracks that could have been better representations of the project's emotional depth and sonic evolution. The title track, and Boy Problems, would have shown a different vibe and could have done better on the charts. While it had a cult following and became a critical darling, its commercial performance lagged. The underwhelming singles likely contributed to the album's inability to break through to the mainstream. Despite this, Emotion has been called one of the best pop albums of the 2010s, proving that its singles didn't define its legacy. Liberation by Christina Aguilera. Christina Aguilera's 2018 album Liberation was a bold statement of artistry and individuality, featuring a mix of R&B, hip-hop, and soulful ballads. The album highlighted her vocal ability and willingness to experiment with her sound. However, its singles failed to resonate and led to the album flopping on the charts. The lead single Accelerate, featuring Ty Dolla $ign and 2 Chainz, was a polarizing choice. While it showcased the album's experimental production, the song felt disjointed and all over the place. It lacked the immediate appeal of her previous hits, with some even calling it the worst song of the year. Fans expecting a power ballad or an upbeat banger were left confused, and the single's performance on the charts was underwhelming. The second single, Fall in Line, featuring Demi Lovato, did slightly better, showcasing Christina's legendary vocals. However, it didn't gain the traction needed to boost the album. Tracks like Twice and Maria could have been better choices. Despite the single's missteps, Liberation is known as one of the most underrated albums from Christina Aguilera's discography. Fifth Harmony by Fifth Harmony. Released in 2017, Fifth Harmony's self-titled album marked their first project as a foursome after the departure of Camila Cabello. The album showcased a more mature and cohesive sound, blending R&B and pop elements. Critics noted that it was an introduction to what the group can be in their new era as Fourth Harmony. Despite the album's strengths, the lead single Down didn't resonate as intended. While it aimed to replicate the success of their previous hit Work From Home, it fell short of capturing the group's evolved sound and maturity. It wanted to emulate their previous era, but it didn't quite resonate as expected. The lead single didn't represent the album's progression. In contrast, songs like Don't Say You Love Me could have been better singles and kicked off the new era right. But after the underperformance of the album, the group broke up, with each member going on their solo journey. The selection of Down as the lead single may have contributed to the mismatch between public expectations and the album's sound, potentially impacting its commercial performance. Everything Is Love by the Carters. In 2018, Beyoncé and Jay-Z, under the name The Carters, released Everything Is Love, a highly anticipated collab album that delved into themes of love, wealth, and black excellence. The album had a seamless synergy between the married duo. However, some critics pointed out that it relies too heavily on their star power. The lead single Apeshit featured a trap-influenced beat and was accompanied by a visually stunning video set in the Louvre in Paris. While the song garnered attention for its bold statement and high-profile visuals, some felt it tried too hard to fit into the trap sound that was dominating the charts at the time. It even had those Migos ad-libs. The flow was monotonous, and the lyrics lacked the depth expected from a B&J single. Other songs like Friends and Love Happy offered more of a glimpse into the couple's personal lives and struggles, providing a richer narrative than Apeshit. His choice as the lead single may have overshadowed better tracks on the album, affecting its performance. The album has largely been forgotten these days, which showed that it didn't make a big impact, considering it is the long-awaited collab album from two legends. Madame X by Madonna. Released in June 2019, Madame X marked a bold chapter in Madonna's legendary career. The album showcased her global influences, embracing Latin, African, and even Portuguese sounds. Critically, the album received praise for its daring creativity, but its singles didn't quite capture the spirit of the project. The album's lead single, Medellin, a duet with Colombian star Maluma, set the tone for the record. While the song was smooth, it failed to connect with mainstream audiences. The single peaked at number 18 on the US Dance Club Songs chart, but didn't enter the Billboard Hot 100. The next singles like Crave, featuring Sway Lee, and I Rise also underperformed. The final single, God Control, had a disco vibe and talked about gun violence, but it didn't do much on the charts. Despite the single's lukewarm reception, Madame X was a great album. Tracks like Batuka and Killers Who Are Partying showed her willingness to push boundaries. The album as a whole was successful, debuting at number 1 on the Billboard 200, but the single choices were questionable. Double Duchess by Fergie. Fergie's long-awaited sophomore album, Double Duchess, arrived 11 years after her debut, The Duchess, which was a very successful album that took over the 2000s, spawning hit after hit. Fans expected a strong follow-up, and while the album delivered a cohesive genre-blending experience, its singles failed to generate significant buzz. The album's lead single, MILF Money, was a bold choice and was released with a viral music video. However, the song's reliance on trendy production alienated listeners who had hoped for more timeless pop bangers. Follow-up singles like Life Goes On and You Already Know with Nicki Minaj were more polished, but struggled to gain traction, not making a significant impact on the charts. Despite the single's underwhelming performance, Double Duchess is a creative and personal album. Songs like Save It Till Morning and A Little Work showcase Fergie's emotional range and ability to experiment. Unfortunately, the singles chosen didn't reflect the album's depth, leaving it unfairly overlooked. Queen by Nicki Minaj. Nicki Minaj's Queen was an ambitious project meant to reaffirm her dominance in rap and pop. While the album showcased some of her most intricate rhymes and versatile flows, it was released at a bad time for her career. The singles did not have the same punch as her earlier hits, even though the album had the best rapping of her career. The lead single, Chun Li, was the introduction, becoming a top 10 hit on the Billboard Hot 100. However, the song had that "I'm the bad guy and you're picking on me" narrative, which didn't go down well with casual fans. It also didn't have crossover appeal like Starships or Super Bass. Follow-up singles like Bet featuring Ariana Grande and Barbie Dreams had moderate successes, but didn't become the cultural phenomenon fans expected from her. Queen itself, however, was a great album. Songs like LLC and Thought I Knew featuring The Weeknd showed Nicki's versatility and could have done better as singles. While the singles failed to match the energy of her previous hits, the album as a whole is an underrated gem in her discography. Caution by Mariah Carey. Released in November 2018, Caution was a return to form for Mariah. The album became one of her most critically acclaimed albums in years. Despite critical success, the single struggled to make a significant cultural impact. The lead single, With You, was a tender ballad that showcased Mariah's timeless voice. While it reached number 3 on the adult contemporary charts, it failed to crack the Billboard Hot 100, signaling a disconnect with the new generation. The follow-up, A No-No, an upbeat track that interpolates Lil' Kim's Crush on You, had all the makings of a viral hit, but it was underpromoted and it underperformed. Despite these misfires, the album debuted on number 5 on the Billboard 200, proving Mariah's enduring star power. Caution is a masterclass in subtlety and cohesion. Tracks like Give Me Life and Portrait are layered and show her vulnerability. The album also features modern production without abandoning her signature sound. The singles failed to kickstart the era, and the deeper cuts could have represented the album better, leaving Caution underrated in Mariah's discography. Which great albums with bad singles did I miss? Tell me in the comments below.